Hello! So this is my first Sephora haul in months. During the pandemic, I've been trying to cut down on sort of unnecessary spending or any kind of extra spending that's not really part of like groceries or like just daily necessities. So yeah, this is why I haven't had a Sephora haul in a really long time. And this is also a really small Sephora haul. I'm almost tempted to not call it a haul, just to call it like a purchase, because I have technically two, but really only one thing to show you in this haul. The other thing I thought I'd quickly mention is the Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen. This is the first time I've been using this sunscreen, and this is actually the reason why I'm making this Sephora purchase, just because I needed a new sunscreen. I haven't tried it, so I really can't say anything more on it. It's just I've heard very good things about it, so I figured I'd give it a try. If you would like to hear about my further thoughts on the Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen, you can check me out on Influencer, where I post my reviews eventually. Sometimes I'm not the best about keeping up to date, and also I like to test things for a while, especially something like skincare. I feel like I can't get a good grasp on the product just from trying it out for a few days to like even a week. I usually give it at least 2 weeks of trying, and because I'm out of sunscreen, I am going to be opening this up right after I finish this video, so I'll put that up as soon as I can. But the thing I wanted to show you was I bought the Sephora Favorites Give Me Some Shine lip sampler. On the website it says it's a balm and gloss kit. It's a lot of words that mean similar things, but it's called a different thing in different places. I don't think I've ever mentioned this on my videos before, but I do really love, generally speaking, the Sephora Favorites kits that Sephora puts together. I've bought one other lip kit in the past, and then I've also bought a Korean skincare favorites set, and it's the concept of these favorites boxes. I've already opened it up, so you don't have to watch me open it up on camera. These are a collection of mini products with occasionally one or two full-size products thrown in for the price of about, the ones I usually get are about $25 to $35. I know there have been more expensive ones in the past, but I've never purchased those, so I really can't speak on the quality of those because I've never bought them. But yeah, this one was either $25 or $30. I'm just looking at the box and it says it's $30. I could have just looked on the box. Alrighty, the sun is going down. I'm filming this after, if you watched my previous video of my Milwordy trial run, I know not everybody who's going to watch this is going to watch that because it's writing related, but in my Milwordy trial run video, I've mentioned that I don't have access to my room at all times of the day anymore because my sister uses my room to attend her online college classes just because my room has the best Wi-Fi for some reason. So yeah, I'm filming after classes, but the sun is already starting to go down, so I need to hurry. I need to hurry it up a little bit. So these are the 5 lippies. There are actually 2 full sizes in this favorite set. There is the Fenty Gloss, which is actually, the Fenty Gloss I have tried before, but I don't have it in this shade. And the other one is this NARS lip balm. I have a satin lipstick from NARS that actually was from the previous lip favorite set that I bought from Sephora, but I've never tried this formula before, but I think actually it's in the same shade, Orgasm, which a lot of their products are named Orgasm, but this is the same shade in a different formula. Now, because technically, even though this is a favorite set with multiple lips in it, I'm technically only showing you one product. What I figure I do is over the next 5 days, I try all 5 of these lippies and each create like a separate look for each lip. I thought of this idea of trying to do a different look for each lip because a lot of these are like glosses or balms, so it really wouldn't help, or it really wouldn't show off the product for me to just swatch them on my arm like I normally do when I do hauls. I'm probably the most excited to try this. I believe it's a lip gloss from Patrick Ta. I've actually never tried anything from Patrick Ta before, but it's a brand that has been on my radar ever since they came out with their first thing. So I'm probably most excited for this one. I'm a little worried about the Too Faced lip injection because I actually, in the previous Sephora lip kit that I bought, it had 2 kind of lip plumpers. They were both just a little too strong for me. So we'll see how this works out. It is the Lip Injection Extreme. If it doesn't work out with me just wearing it straight on my lips, I'll do what I do with the two previous ones from the last Sephora Favorites kit, and I'll wear it on top of another lip, because that usually sort of dulls the effect of like the tingly plumping whatever, and it doesn't cause my lips to like sting to the point where I need to take it off. So I think for full fairness, we're just gonna go in order. So I am currently filming this the day before my sort of 5-day wear test of the Sephora Favorites Give Me Some Shine lip kit starts. So tomorrow morning, you will see me wearing Lancôme Juicy Tubes. Alrighty, so today is day one. I'm going to be using the Lancôme Juicy Tubes, and I figure I put on the lip first and then try to create the look around it. So I haven't used one of these like plastic gloss tube things in like years. Here we go. It's got like a watermelon taste to it. Or I should say scent. Kind of also tastes though too. Ooh, that shows up nice on camera. I know the problem for my camera is a lot of glosses don't show up that well on camera. Like in the intro section, I was wearing the Colourpop X Sailor Moon gloss, and you can only kind of see it. Yeah, this shows up nice. I'm in natural light. My window is just like right over there, so. Okay. It's very simple, but nice. Alrighty. I need to prime my eyelids, and I'll be right back. I don't know if you can notice, but I'm in a little bit of a hurry. My sister needs to use my room for class, but I wanted to do like a full day wear test with the Lancôme Juicy Tubes, or with, you know, all of the lip products in general. But like I said, my sister needs to use this room for her class, so I'm a bit pressed for time. Alrighty, I'm going into the ABH X Jackie Aina palette. I did do a video on this, but it was during, at the time, like there was a bunch of drama going on with ABH, so I never released the video. I'm not sure if I'm going to at this point, but I did do a first impressions with this, and it's my first ABH palette ever, so I really don't have anything to compare it to, per se, but I do really like it. See, looking in the Lancôme, the tube, you'd think this would have more of a tint to it, but it's very natural. So I think I'm just going to maybe even forego a brush and just layer on some Trust Issues, because it's white in the pan, but it's very light kind of shimmer. Wow, you can kind of see that on camera. I was a little worried that it wouldn't be intense enough to show up on camera, but it's showing up. And in person it's just by itself, it's a little chalky on me. But considering this is supposed to be a topper, that's to be expected. I don't know, just figuring the lip is so natural, I figure I might not want to overdo it with the eyes. Just keep it very simple. Alrighty, I'm gonna go in with some Brow Wiz. Especially in sort of softer looks like this, I tend to just go very light. Not even like, just a couple of strokes like that, and I'm done. And then do the same to the other brow. Oh, I got a little under here, oops. Just brush that away. Alrighty. some Benefit Hoola bronzer. So, if you guys watched my last video, my Milwordy, you'll know that I kind of copied Kate Kavanagh's sort of her spreadsheet for like tracking her words per day. Well, even though my Milwordy trial one is over and overall I decided I'm not going to do Milwordy, I've still been using that spreadsheet just because it's nice to keep track of all my words per day. Yeah. I quite like it. I didn't freeze some of the rows and columns the way she did in the video, but now that I have more days in my spreadsheet, I did. I feel like you can never see my bronzer very well on camera. I was talking to my dad, and I'm up for like on those family plans, they have the thing where you can get a new phone after having the current one for like so many years. And I'm at that point. I've had this phone for 3, almost 4 years. So I think mine came up like a while ago. And I'm thinking, now that I'm doing YouTube videos regularly and I'm also doing makeup videos, oh, I should probably say what I'm using. The Wet n Wild Coloricon blush in Pearlescent Pink. But yeah, I think maybe it's finally time to bite the bullet and get an iPhone. I have an iPad and I had an iPod Touch way back in the day. But I've never had an iPhone. I've always had an Android. But unfortunately, well, I like a lot of things about my Android. For videos, you unfortunately just cannot compare to the iPad. I've also heard good things about the Google Pixel, but I also, especially because, you know, I'm sure a lot of people over here in San Francisco have the Google Pixel, but when I was in college in New York, everybody just basically had an iPhone. So, well, no, my best friend also had an Android. That's why we're best friends. No. But yeah, in just terms of filming, an iPhone would be better. And I don't know. I think at some point down the road, especially if YouTube becomes a bigger commitment to me, that's I think when I would invest in a real camera. But if I'm just doing YouTube for fun, I'm not making any money off of it. An iPhone is a reasonable upgrade, but it's like, it's also something functional. It's not just something I would use for YouTube. Although, considering I'm an actor, I could use a camera for like self-tapes. Alrighty, this is the Colourpop Super Shock Shadow in Churro. This is discontinued, but I believe Flexitarian is kind of a dupe. You don't get the kind of like swirly effect in the pan with Flexitarian with this, but it's once you like blend out all of the different kind of colored swirls, it's a very similar shade. Maybe just a little darker. So yeah, although with my parents are understandably being very cautious during the pandemic right now, so and they like doing the whole like going in store to like get your new phone thing. So I have a feeling I'm not going to get a new phone until after the pandemic is over, which is fine by me. Although my phone has been dropping calls lately, so maybe I should be taking this a little more seriously than I am. Alrighty, here's the final look. Kind of a glowy, very natural thing going on. I was light on the bronzer. You know, I just did the normal amount of blush, light on the brows, and then just a little bit of eyeshadow. So yeah, this was day 1, and I will come to you at the end of the day for a wear test. Alrighty, so this is the look for day 1. Now I will have maybe 1 or 2 check-ins throughout the day. It's a gloss, so I'm not expecting it to last the whole day, but I am about to have lunch right now, so we'll see how this holds up after I have my sandwich. Alrighty, so I just had my lunch and I had some coffee with my lunch. I know this is like totally different lighting than what I have in my room, but the gloss held up okay. It was actually eating the sandwich. The gloss is thicker than I thought it would be because it like got in my food, or like pieces of lettuce kept getting stuck to my lips, and then when I would peel it off, it like you could like feel the thick layer of gloss. You can't anymore because I think I wore it off. But yeah, I just figured I'd show you guys what it looked like after I ate. Alrighty, final check-in of the day, and it's basically gone. The gloss is gone. You can still, in person, you can still kind of see some of the shimmer from the product, and there's still a slight stickiness to my lips, but the actual like pigment and even sort of that glossy effect is completely gone. So that was my day-long wear of the Lancôme Juicy Tubes, and I'll see you tomorrow. Alrighty, so it is day 2, so we're going to be trying the Patrick Ta Major Glow Lip Shine. Now this is the one I said in the intro portion that I was most excited with. The packaging is really great. Especially considering this, I think this is one of the minis of the set, not one of the full sizes. It's like, it's almost kind of sharp at the edges. Like, when I feel it, I'm almost afraid, like, I'm gonna prick myself or something. Just because it's a sort of, it's either a glass or a hard plastic. I'm pretty sure it's glass. Here we go. We'll start with the lip first. Ah. I thought the Lancôme Juicy Tube showed up well on camera, but this is really showing up. The smell is like vanilla cupcake with like a hint of mint. Pretty. Yeah, like the other gloss, very simple. Not very kind of flashy. Like when I think really flashy glosses, I think of the Anastasia Beverly Hills glosses. Like those are almost liquid lipsticks. They're like opaque, but this is more what you think of when you think of like a typical gloss. There's a lot of shimmer that you can see in the container, but you don't really see it on camera. And let me just get out a mirror so I can see what it looks like in person. Oh, you can definitely see the shimmer in person. Like it's really obvious in person. Alrighty, let's do the rest of my makeup. Again, I am in a little bit of a hurry because my sister needs to use this room for class. Prime my eyelids. Luckily, because I'm pressed for time, I think I'm just going to use one of my Super Shock shadows. So I don't have to hash out a look with a palette. I can just swipe on one shade and go. I'm going to use this guy. I love a lot of the Super Shock shades, but I just can't keep track of which shades Colourpop keeps in stock and which ones they discontinued. Like one of my favorite shades ever that I wore, I want to say in my Hollow Taco haul, Pledge class. I believe they discontinued that, I want to say last year. It looks yellow in the pan, but on my eyes it looks a little more gold. This shade, not Pledge Class. Pledge Class, honestly, that looks golden in the pan, but on my eyes, and especially on camera, it looks kind of orange. It's very interesting. Alrighty, brows. For the author tube side of my channel, because I write fan fiction, I was thinking of like, and I am trying to write or create an audiobook version of my fan fiction with just me putting my theater degree to use, I guess. But I thought maybe to sort of combine the two sides of my channel, I would try and do makeup looks for each of the characters, but the problem is most of the characters, at least the main characters in the beginning, which is the portion I'm creating into an audiobook, most of them are men, and two of them are white men, which I clearly am not either of those things. So it's like, what do you do for a makeup look? Do I just plaster concealer all over my face? I was tempted to do that for at least one character. Just be very pale. Because the character is like very pale, like, and not in a good way, not in like the way like some Asian people are like, oh, he's got fair skin. No, he looks like he's sick. Alright, that's it for bronzer. Now for blush. This blush palette, I love it, but it's like highly pigmented. I need to be really careful. What shade do I want to use? I'll use this guy. Yeah, if I wasn't doing this for camera, that would have just been it. Like, now you can see it a little bit more. I'm just gonna have to accept that, like, to a certain extent, I can't do my makeup for camera, really, especially because I still live at home. Like, if I did my makeup in a way that you could really see on camera, I would look crazy in real life, and then I'd walk out this door, and my parents would be like, what are you wearing? Final touch, some highlighter, some champagne pop. I was not there for the initial hype of champagne pop. Like, by the time I'd even gotten into makeup, I think they had made this a permanent shade, like, and disconnected Jaclyn Hill's name from it. Pretty. Alrighty, here's my look for today, and I will be back with you for some midday check-ins. Hello! So, even though it's still the early afternoon, I think this is going to be my one and only check-in for today, because look at this, it is completely gone. In all fairness, I did have mac and cheese for lunch today, and there are two things that particularly lip glosses never stand up against, but lipstick in general, is mac and cheese and Chinese food. In my experience, lipstick never stands up to those two foods, or there's very few lipsticks I've ever encountered, because I have encountered one or two lipsticks that are strong enough to handle all that, like, grease and what have you. But in person, you can still see a lot of the shimmer on my lips, but the gloss itself is just completely disintegrated. And honestly, considering it is a gloss, I really wasn't expecting it to stay. I just figure I do a wear test to see how long it stays. And like I said, a little bit of an unfair comparison considering yesterday I wore the Lancôme Juicy Tube while eating a sandwich for lunch, and the Patrick Ta lip gloss had to go up against mac and cheese. I still get a little bit of a sticky feeling on my lips, but it's actually not as bad compared to the Lancôme Juicy Tube yesterday. So yeah, that's my wear test of the Patrick Ta lip gloss. I quite liked it, and like I said, I wasn't really expecting it to last all day. I do kind of wish, and I'm not sure if this is the lip product's fault or my camera's fault, but I wish that the actual like shimmeriness showed up a little bit more on camera, because and I'll show this tomorrow when I do the Fenty lip gloss, although I probably shouldn't be putting too much faith in it, because I have tried the Fenty lip glosses before, but I've tried a different shade. So what I'm saying here might not apply to the shade I'm trying tomorrow, but I know the shade of the Fenty gloss that I've been trying, that one, the shimmeriness does show up on camera, whereas this really didn't. It still looked nice, but the shimmer didn't show up. So yeah, we'll see how that goes tomorrow, and I will see you then. Hello! So it is the next day, so I'm going to be testing the Fenty lip gloss. Now, I've already tried this formula, but I have it in a different shade, and this is the full size, so, and the other one I have is the mini, so this is like a side-by-side comparison of what the full size looks like compared to the mini. So yeah, let's pop this on, see what we think. It's Friday, but my sister doesn't have class on Friday, so I'm luckily today not in a rush, as much as I am on the previous 2 days. So think of what I said on the previous days with the Fenty gloss. You have a better time seeing the shimmer on this camera. And I would agree. It's easier to see, just in general, but it's still very subtle. It's not like really like super duper in your face. All these glosses are very natural, and I like that. So I'm gonna prime my eyes and be right back. Alrighty, eyes are all primed. Now we're gonna get into the eyeshadow. I'm using the Too Faced Tutti Frutti palette. I think this is the palette I tried on my very first YouTube video, like, ever. I think it's still up on my channel. You would have to go, like, way, way back. So I think I'm just gonna, for a lip look like this. I've been going really simple with the looks I've been making with these glosses, and I feel that's appropriate. I think I'm still sort of stuck in that, like, summery kind of no makeup, even though it's like the middle of August. Especially when wearing, like, sort of just these kind of, like, sheer glosses, I don't feel like a full-on look is totally necessary. Bronzer. The Too Faced 101 blush palette from a few years ago. I never see anybody use this. I think it's like one of those things where it's like a bunch of people got it when it first came out, and then like 6 months later immediately decluttered it and never used it again. But I like it. It does mean, unfortunately, that I cannot justify buying any more Tarte face products for a long, long time. Because, like, this is a bronzer and this is a highlight, and then all of the rest of these are blushes. So it's like, this is honestly enough to, like, last me a lifetime, honestly. Like, I have a few single Tarte blushes from Ipsy bags. But, other than that, like I said, I've never gone out and bought a Tarte face product other than this. And I don't think I could, at least for, like I said, not for a long time, when I eventually somehow run out of this. Alrighty, blush. I'm not going to use blush from that palette. I'm going to use, once again, my e.l.f. blush palette. I was thinking, like, if I ever were to try to pan a face product, sorry, I lost my thought here, I I was looking at myself in the camera, being like, oh, how does this show up on camera? And it only just kind of does. In person, it's very obvious, but I think just because of the coloration on my camera, my phone camera rather, pulls kind of red, so I think a lot of like the kind of pinkyish reddish tones of my blush just don't really show up on camera the way they should. But yeah, I would kind of want to pan this blush palette just because I've had it for so long. I think it's one of the first blushes I've ever bought. But because it's so pigmented, I hardly ever like use any of the product. Like I have to go really light because these blushes are intense. Like if I go too hard, I'll look like a clown. Alrighty, and I'm gonna pull a highlighter from my singles palette. I don't think I've ever showed my singles palette on video before, but here we go. And I'm gonna use this highlighter right here, this giant pan. It's a Lottie London single highlighter that I got from Ipsy. It's a little on the subtler side. It's kind of white iridescent. And those don't tend to show up too well for me on camera, but in person they're very, oh, okay. In person they're very obvious, but actually scratch that, that's showing up okay. I think it's the lighting. When I used to film videos in my bathroom, they wouldn't show up that well, but here, this is nice. So yeah, here's my look for today. I decided not to even go with any brows today. I was thinking about doing eyeliner, but I think maybe I'll save eyeliner for tomorrow. So yeah, here's the look, and I'll check in with you in a few hours, and I'll see you then. Alrighty, it's been a couple hours, and I'm here for my check-in. This actually probably, out of all the ones I've tried so far, this gloss probably held up the best. I still get a little bit of that glossy effect. If I lean into the light here, you can see it better. It's definitely thinned out, but it's looking good. I had a sandwich, so the test wasn't too intense. It's not like yesterday where I had that mac and cheese. That's a pretty rough test to get through, so it's not exactly equal, but it's pretty close-ish. I'm doing about the same amount of time, at least, if I can't eat the same thing for 5 days straight. So yeah, that was my check-in for the Fenty gloss. And first impression, I like it. You know, I liked the other shade, so I think this one looks pretty similar to the other shade. I'm sure I have at least one video where I've worn the other shade before. So yeah, that's it for the Fenty gloss, and I will see you tomorrow. Hello, and alrighty, today we are testing the NARS lip balm. I don't exactly remember the full name of this, but I do know for a fact it's a lip balm. I think this is our only like solid lipstick that doesn't come in like a liquid gloss formula. So I'm just gonna quickly swatch it just to see how opaque it is. Because this is the shade Orgasm, which I think NARS is kind of known for. And I have this shade in in their satin lipstick formula. And in that formula, on my lips at least, you get more of the sparkle than you actually do get the pigment. And you get quite a bit of sparkle in this formula too. You don't quite see it directly applied onto my arm. I think actually this is a rare case where the shine shows up more on camera than it does like in person. And then you can definitely see the shimmer in the sort of like lipstick bullet itself, just on that top there, all that kind of pinky yellowish goldy sparkle. So let me apply this. Ooh. Ooh, got a sweet scent. Kind of reminds me of lip smackers almost. I used to have the jelly bean flavored lip smacker. That one was my favorite. Alrighty, so yes, very subtle, but I am getting a little bit of pigmentation on camera, and I was not smart today, and I did not bring, ooh, I have a mirror on my highlighter. Yeah, in person, it pulls a little bit more kind of like magenta pink, whereas on camera, I think I'm getting kind of a salmon pink more or so. So let's do a look with this. I'm feeling a bit slower today than I have on previous days. Maybe I'm not sure if I just didn't sleep well or something. I'm not entirely sure. I've also been putting a lot of hours into, if you watch the author tube side of my channel, you know I write the Star Wars fan fiction that I post every week. And I posted the latest chapter yesterday, but I've also been working on an audiobook version for a friend of mine, with whom an audiobook would just be easy for her to consume. Or would be more accessible. She's not visually impaired, although it would help for those people too. She's just busy, so I can't believe I have a knot in my hair. I didn't realize before I started filming. Alrighty, today I'm going to use the Colourpop Sailor Moon palette. I think this was my most recent haul that I've done on my channel. No, scratch that. This was the haul before my Holo Taco. So it was my last, like, face makeup haul. But it wasn't my last haul, period. Okay. This is very pinky. So I think I'm gonna go in with Moon Castle first. I don't know, I could never buy a palette where the names are like all about sex. Like even some of the Too Faced palettes kind of, at least for filming, kind of like turn me off. Ironically, the names are about sex and it turns me off. But yeah, I would just feel weird about like doing a makeup look and then saying like, I'm going into insert sexual reference here. I mean, not to say that my channel is 100% family friendly. I think especially when I talk about writing stuff, just the general sort of like age range in terms of like people who would be interested in that kind of context skews a little older. But I don't know, I feel personally I would feel uncomfortable like naming those shades as like stuff I'm putting on my eyes. Alright, with my finger, I'm gonna go in with Silver Crystal. I've realized over time, I am less of a fan of like combining different colors together, and I am more so a fan of applying different shades, like layering different shades of the same color together. And I think a lot of it has to do with just my eye shape. Ooh, I like that. Very subtle, kind of everyday thing. I've never tried this combo before, but I'm really liking it. But yeah, I think it has to do with my eye shape just because my eyes, I don't have a lot of eyelid space to work with. And then I technically have two different eye shapes because I have a double lid on this eye, and then I usually don't on this eye, but I think a double lid crease is starting to form right here, because I only got this like little crease thing here whenever I was like really tired, but I think it's just naturally starting to form on my eye. And so I've realized I haven't used mascara at all for any of my looks. So I figured I'd just go in with mascara today. I do not wear mascara or like brow products every day. I almost never wear face products or base products, face products. I don't know. It's just, I usually only wear base products if like I'm doing a really important video or I visit. Yeah, and then like mascara and brows. Sometimes I feel like it goes with the look and sometimes I feel it doesn't. So whether or not I use them is just kind of up to me and my mood. Well, I could add a little bit more to the bottom lash here. Yeah, there we go. And then I'll just do a quick sweep of the brow. Wrong side. I can hear my parents downstairs. I'm not sure if you can too. Alrighty, now Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I'm not sure if I've used this for one of my looks yet, but I use this constantly, which is honest. So it's honestly surprising I really haven't worn down the pattern all that much. Like I've smoothed it out in like this middle area. But yeah, I really haven't worn down the pattern at all. I'm always super like impressed with people who pan this. Because on one hand, it's a popular item to pan. But it's a lot of product. And if you look at my video descriptions, you know I use this all of the time. But then again, also to be fair, I don't wear makeup every day, especially right now with the situation I'm in. I basically only wear makeup on days I'm filming. Like even when I go out, just because like I believe studies have shown that makeup, particularly like base products, can wear down the usability of a mask. Correct me if I'm wrong, but because of that, even if it doesn't turn out to be true, I just want to take that precaution and just not wear makeup when I'm outside wearing a mask. I'm wearing masks, multiple masks at one time. Alrighty, I'm going to go in with the Ciate London blush. So I got this from an Ipsy, and I quite like it. I think it was either an Ipsy or BoxyCharm. This blush had like a controversy of like the ingredients on the box website did not match the ingredients on the website for like the product that you just buy instead of getting in the box. Forgot if that was Ipsy or BoxyCharm. It happened a while ago. But I quite like this, whichever formula it may be. Alrighty, now just for a little bit of highlighter. Not sure if you saw it because I used the mirror in this earlier. Fenty Beauty highlighter. This is also a product I have used constantly, and I have this compared to the bronzer. I have worn down the imprint in this a lot more. I think because it's a smaller pan. Also, I think I've had this longer compared to the bronzer. This is one of the first highlighters I've ever owned. Which is not saying much because I've only been wearing makeup for I think like 2 or 3 years at this point. Pretty. Yeah, in case you can't tell, I've always liked this highlighter. I've been tempted to get this in other shades, but I don't know. I am always hesitant to get things in, like, get products I like in different shades, just because I have very limited space to store my makeup, and I just want to try different formulas. I am very much a fan of trying different formulas. One of these days, I will do a tour of my entire makeup collection, but that day is not today. So this is the complete look with my NARS lip balm, and I will check back in with you in a few hours to see how it wears. Alrighty, it's a couple of hours later, and the balm is holding up nicely. If I point my lips in the direction of the light, which is like over here. The pigmentation has worn off a little bit, and I can definitely still see the sparkle, both in person and on camera. This is probably the least sticky out of the lip products, but considering it's a lip balm when the others are lip glosses, that's to be expected. And yeah, first impression, I like this. I've liked all of the products so far. I think probably tomorrow, which will be my last testing day, is what I am the most skeptical about, because I have not had great experiences with lip plumpers in the past, and this last product is a lip plumper. So I will try it on its own first, but I will also have another lip product on standby in case it's like too intense for me and I need to wear it over something. So yeah, so that's the NARS lip balm, and I will see you for the final day tomorrow. Alrighty, hello! So here we are on the final day of my 5-day try-on of all of the lippies from the Sephora Favorites kit. And so here we have it. It's the Too Faced Lip Injection Extreme. And it's got kind of that iridescent sheen to it. I'm not sure if you can capture it on camera at all. See if I can put it in different places in the light. I think here you can see it the best. It's kind of this kind of blue to green to kind of purple at the end. Iridescent sheen. Now, I've mentioned this before, I've not had the greatest experience with lip plumpers, so I've got like tissues on standby, and then another lip product. This is just the Bite Lip Crayon on standby in case I can't handle this just like by itself. So let's give it a shot. It's also got that lip smackers kind of smell to it. It's not tingling at all. Huh. Okay. I feel the tingliness like a little bit towards like the inner part of my lips. But it doesn't have like that kind of like minty tingly feeling that I've had from other lip plumpers. I'm starting to feel it a little more now, but it's not like the other two I tried. One was from Urban Decay and the other was the Buxom lip polish. Like, it was so bad. I just had to I had to take it off immediately. Honestly, that's what I was kind of expecting from this guy. But no, this is fine. Like, I can kind of feel the tingly part, like I said, especially on like the inner part of my lips, but it's not like painful. Alrighty, I figured today I try some eyeliner. I think I've mentioned this once or twice in like really old videos, but I haven't mentioned it in a while. I am horrible at eyeliner. And also just doing eyeliner is tricky for me because I have 2 different eye shapes. So it requires some finessing. Ooh, I'm starting to really feel it. It's not getting to the point where I like want to take it off, but it is starting to bother me just a little bit. But yeah, doing eyeliner when you got 2 different eye shapes requires some finessing. Just gonna quickly put on my sort of like a skin tone colored shade to set my base. I'm just using this shade from one of the e.l.f. 4-pan palettes. I bought this at a Target, like in-store at a Target, like when when I used to do those things regularly, go to Target. But I did not know they had sort of more like monochromatic ones. at least I didn't see it at my Target. Like, they have like a monochromatic green or a monochromatic blue. And if I'd known that, I probably would have bought one of those instead. But I didn't see it at the Target I was at the time. Okay. This is starting to bother me. It's like coming in waves. Like, the tingliness of it. I think I'm gonna take this off. Yeah, I can't do it. I thought I could. Ow, okay, it still kind of hurts. Let me try that again. Alright, first I'm gonna... This is the original Bite Lip Crayon in Glossy. I have been meaning to try some of Bite's newer formulas. Like, I've tried the lip crayons and then the Amuse Bouche lipsticks that they have since discontinued, and I'm very sad about that, because I think actually they still have the original lip crayons on their website, but I could be wrong. But I don't see these at Sephora anymore. But yeah, I actually, if I had to choose between the Amuse Bouche formula and then the lip crayon formula, I would go with the lip crayon. But yeah, but they have lip stains now, and I really want to try those. Then actually, I've been tempted to like want to try their base products. They have like foundation and powders now. Maybe Bite will convince me to break my Korean only policy for base products. Alrighty, going in with Marc Jacobs Fly Liner. Oh wait, what am I doing? I need to put on the lip plumper first. Just use it as a gloss over the lip crayon. Alrighty, let's try this again. Oh no, it's gotten all over the applicator. The lip crayon formula. Alright, I'll be right back. I need to clean this. I always see beauty influencers like apply gloss over like a cream formula like it's no big deal, but I always get so peeved about the applicator, the gloss applicator, getting whatever lip color, whatever cream lip color I have under it, like on the applicator. And I don't know how people deal with that, because I hate it and I have to clean my applicator every time I do, because I don't want the two to mix. Alrighty, but I'm actually still kind of feeling the aftershock of when I originally applied the lip plumper on, but I'm not feeling the tingliness anymore from the lip plumper being on top of just the Bite lip crayon. And yeah, I think that's just how I'm gonna have to wear the lip plumper, because it's lip plumpers. I think I've finally learned my lesson. Lip plumpers are just a little too much for me just on their own. Alrighty, here's the tough part. Eyeliner. I'm sorry I'm not talking during this, but it's a kind of an intense moment for me, if you can't tell. My eyes also flinch a lot when I'm putting on eyeliner. Do you ever like have that where like your eyes just can't stay still when you're putting on eyeliner? Okay, I think I did it. Woohoo! As I've been filming more and more makeup looks for YouTube, I feel like I've been getting better at eyeliner. Like, I used to, like, when I put on eyeliner, I would smudge it every single time. And it was so annoying. Alrighty. Gonna put on some cream blush first. This is Colourpop Super Shock Blush. I always have trouble with that. The blushes and the Super Shock highlighters. It's always like, space out your consonants. And luckily I remembered that I have to apply my cream products first, because I sometimes forget, and I'll like do my powder bronzer first because I'm used to doing it in that order, and then realizing right after I put on my bronzer, wait, I have cream blush. Now this blush is kind of on the paler side for someone of my skin tone, so I kind of have to go in a little harder than I usually would, especially if I wanted to get it to show up on camera. My Colourpop Mulan package arrived a few days ago, and my mom still insists on keeping everything in like all our incoming packages in like a 2-day quarantine, just to make sure like there's no germs on it. But I mean, she still makes us wash our hands after we're done handling the package. But yeah, so anyway, the Mulan Colourpop order is just sort of exiting its quarantine period. So probably tomorrow, because I'll want to have like a makeup free face to try everything on, I'll film the next video. Alright, I'm using Hoola Matte in the original color. This color was okay with me, but I could almost go a shade darker. Like, I'm kind of curious, because I think last year they came out with a shade that's darker than this of the Hoola formula. I'd be curious to try that, see if that works better than this one does. Because I like this. But I do have to go just slightly harder than I do for most bronzers that I have in my collection. Okay. Alrighty. Now just finally pop on some highlighter. Going back in with my Tarte 101 blush palette, and I'm going to use the highlighter shade right here. I've seen, I was looking on Temptalia's website, and I've seen a lot of people use these like Tarte highlighters as blushes, and maybe if I was of a lighter skin tone I could do that, but for me personally I could not. Shiny. This highlighter is a little on the chalky side, but I quite like the color in terms of like a highlighter. It's just pale enough where it's not like, because like those white kind of iridescent highlighters I have to be really careful about because they look really unnatural on me. But this is like, it's like pale enough where it's like that kind of like light gold shimmer, but it's not too white that it looks weird. Alrighty. So this is the look. Fortunately, I could not wear the lip plumper by itself. It was just, it's too much. So I'm wearing it on top of the Bite lip crayon in Glossy, which was like, think of the birthday gift from last year or 2 years ago. 2 years ago it was the Tarte blush, so I think it was from last year. So yeah, here we go. And I will be back for my check-in a couple of hours. So I will see you then. Alrighty, it is a couple hours later, and the lip gloss, or the lip plumper rather, is holding up rather well. I'm always a little skeptical about like using a cream or a liquid lipstick and then putting a gloss on top, because it always makes whatever the gloss or the plumper is put on top of, it always makes whatever's underneath a little bit more pliable and makes it not as stick as well as it usually does. And I did get a lot of transfer on my water cup,
But in terms of actual like staying power, it didn't really affect it at all. Because usually when I just wear this matte lip crayon by itself, it sticks like completely. Whereas when I put on the plumper, it transferred a lot more than it usually would, but I don't really see like any like disappearing on the inner lip portion, or as Sophia calls it, the butthole lip. So yeah, so that was my testing of all 5 of the lippies in the Sephora Favorites kit, and I think I like all of them. Obviously, with a lip plumper, I'm just gonna have to wear it on top of something and not by itself, but all the other ones I can just wear by themselves, or wear on top of something else. I'm not really the kind of person who does that, though. I really just do that with the lip plumpers that I can't wear on their own. But yeah, that was my first impressions of all of the lips, and let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Bye!